the main street of Broken Hill. It says the town centre, city centre here. 2 sets of traffic lights, and of course I'll get both. 3 sets of traffic lights, I'll get all 3. Well, there you go. I sat at those lights while 2 vehicles went past, and I had to sit there forever while no one was going past, and these ones have turned red for the 2nd time, and I'm still going to get them. Don't you just love traffic lights? Bastards and things. Oh, green before us. Come on, go, you goose. Go. Damn. Bad enough having to stop when they're red, but when they're green. Police station on the right, courthouse. Very old place, Broken Hill, a lot of fancy big old buildings. Like, I mean to say, the speed limit up here was 40, we were doing 25, but now she's going to race away to the red light. Bugger me. Yep. Wonderful. Come on, go before I have to stop. This building here on the left, that's the information centre. It's a fairly big building. Well, that's the Barrier Highway, heading west out of Broken Hill towards the South Australian border. As the sign says, welcome to South Australia. Well, there's an expansive view of nothingness. Barely a tree, a couple of shrubs, and the highway meandering its way through. We're about to be overtaken. This is the town of Orroroo, one of the South Australian country towns. Very neat and tidy, and Geraldine and I are always commenting about all the stone buildings and how they actually maintain them. It's really quite nice. Straight road. This is the countryside between Orroroo and Wilmington. Well, we've been travelling on the Wilmington-Orroroo road,
right on Horrocks Highway,
and now we're going to turn right onto the Horrocks Highway. We're not far out of Wilmington itself, but we're still heading towards Port Augusta. Good clear signage there in front indicates. Victorians, as I suspected. Victorians can never travel by themselves. They always travel in 2s or more. Very rare to see a Victorian travelling by themselves. You notice with all of these little South Australian towns, They all have really big wide streets. Old stone buildings. A pub on one side of the road, would have been a pub on the other side. A museum, a Land Rover museum on the left. Yeah. We're on Horrocks Highway, and this is the famous Horrocks Pass. Explorer by that name came through here in 1846, and he was actually accidentally shot by his belligerent camel, who pulled back on the reins when poor old Horrocks was about to use his firearm. But Horrocks Pass, nonetheless, provided access for the early settlers to move through this country. Otherwise, it would have been a lot more difficult trying to get over the ranges here. There we go. Off in the distance there's blue water. That's the top end of Spencer's Gulf, which leads up to Port Augusta and Whyalla on the western side of Spencer's Gulf. Plane in front going across our bows. He's landing at the Port Augusta airport, I would assume. This is heading down the Eyre Peninsula from Whyalla in the direction of Port Lincoln, next big town down here. Just wiggling out through these bushes. After camping in exactly the same place that we had camped some 4 or 5 years ago. Now it's a case of hopefully following my tracks that we came in on. I think this is where I came in. Around the back here. You can see all the grassy area though. It's a rare opportunity to find a place like this, because over here in this part of South Australia there's simply not a lot of trees to begin with. Geraldine's birthday today, and she's just walking back after checking her geocache, and she went over there and changed the container, put a new container in. So I think we came out this way here. I can see a bit of grass pushed down. So this looks like a possible wriggle track. I think I went around the right hand side of that tree there, but I should be right to wriggle this way. Miss that tree. Watch the van on it. Yep, not a problem. There, it's clear. My tracks are clear here now, where I came in. And we turned just before this tree, or just after. No, after the tree. We turn. We go out through here. Watch the little tree. Just kiss it. And under those branches, here we are back on the track. We'll go this way, which I'm hoping will actually take us back out onto the highway. Looks a bit narrow up in front, but we'll see how we go. So this is what we call an ideal spot. All those great big off-roaders, they wouldn't bother coming into a place like this. But for Geraldine and I, this is absolutely ideal. A great spot. Just to wriggle in. We've only spent 2 nights, but it was a good 2 nights. Sheltered from that wind. Heading out to the highway here. I can see the highway over to our left there, about 40 metres over. And even a track like this would pull up a lot of those great big vans. They wouldn't come into a place like this. We can take a shortcut out here. There you go. Didn't know that was here. Out through the rocks. And this is the Bird's Eye Highway. You can see a lot of the rock in the paddock straight ahead there. It's either rock or sand down here on the Eyre Peninsula. We're only at 21 metres in altitude here, so it's not at all very high. Where we were camped, there were a lot of conical seashells. Geraldine and I are a little bit perplexed as to how they got there. So this is the Bird's Eye Highway. We're approximately 17 kilometres east of the coastal town of Elliston. This is actually the Flinders Highway north of Streaky Bay heading for Ceduna. Or north-northwest on the Flinders Highway heading towards Ceduna, which is another 40 kilometres away. But that's just a pretty good example of a straight road in front there. As far as I can see, probably about 8 kilometres up there, straight as a die. Looking over that way of the grain silos, they could have either wheat, barley or oats in them. The grain all goes out by a conveyor all the way out along that jetty there. And eventually at the end, it loads boats like that. There's a little tug working there, I don't know what they're about. Surely they don't have to push that jetty into place. Here in Ceduna, it's a very windy place. These people have invented all these wind turbines and windmills and different things in their yard, and I bet you they turn most of the time too. Well, we're only 70 kilometres from Ceduna, but you can see the treeless barren plains heading out towards the Nullarbor. We're not quite on the Nullarbor yet. This place up ahead, Penong, is a place where they have a windmill museum, something that I've never seen anywhere else in Australia, actually. Kilometres west of Ceduna. You see it's pastoral land on the right and cropping on the left. All been wheat or something in there. Devastates the land. This truck coming towards me here has got lots of wheels. Sojourner. Eastern end of the treeless plain, the Nullarbor. So this is the start of it. Bare, barren and treeless and dead straight. There's a couple of trucks coming straight up in front of us there, but they're a few kilometres away. Driving on the road going out to the Air Bird Observatory, which is also an old telegraph station, heading out to the beach. So we'll be going down the escarpment. It's a 35-kilometre trek to the observatory and probably 20 kilometres on a rough road like this. This tower up in front is a microwave repeater station. That's one place where we can stay and leave the van, or we can go on a little bit further to a lookout. I'm thinking we'll probably go onto the lookout and have a see what it's like there to leave the van. Top of the escarpment turnoff. So it's a steep track. I've got to stop here and go into low range, they suggest. Oh yeah, a bit overkill. Doesn't really have to be quite low range. First gear high range would have been fine. Well, this part of the track's pretty good. It's not too rough, not pothole, and just weaving in and out through the trees. I've taken the boat off, going on the advice from the observatory, but even that probably we didn't need to, but it gets rid of a lot of weight for us too, up above that roof line. This is our turn off here to the EBO, 9 kilometres. Green Bottle Junction they call this here, eh? The pole on the right there is probably one of the old telegraph poles. Use high range 4-wheel drive, first and second gear. Please don't destroy our track. This is not too bad through this soft sandy stuff. I don't have any problems here. It's a dirty sort of a grey sand. We often find that. Up in front here I can see it's a whiter sand and we'll start to go uphill, so that might make a bit of a difference. Well, this is soft powdery sand, but yeah, with my tyres down as they recommended to 20, it is quite easy. We're not bogging it at all. I am in 4-wheel drive, high range, second gear at the moment. Welcome to the Air Bird Observatory. We're just going for a walk on the beach track here over at the sand dune, just to have a look at the shoreline, see what it looks like from up here. Should be a nice view. I bet you that water's cold. Geraldine's going to get her feet wet. She reckons it's not that cold, but it's cold.